Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Time Travel Simulator. Start with a green dragon fruit. Chapter 91. Which 4 to choose among these 5 talents? As long as you are a normal person, you should make the same choice. With the 2 talents of blue, Avenger, and purple, Suffering Hardship, only a fool would choose the white talent, Orphan. After the 4 talents were selected, this time simulated time travel began. The time travel simulation officially begins. Day 1. You traveled through time and became a baby about to be born. Close black lens bracket. First month. You were born. Thanks to you being a time traveler, you successfully learned the geographical location of your home, Sabayati Archipelago, from your parents' conversation. Close black lens bracket. First year. Your family background is average and your life is fairly stable. Close black lens bracket. The second year. This year, your parents took you on a cruise ship, preparing to return to your hometown to visit relatives. Unexpectedly, they encountered a group of vicious pirates on the way. Your parents were brutally killed to protect you, and you, because of your unique physique, the pirates regard you as a commodity for sale. Close black lens bracket. The third year, the dragon blood in your body makes your physique even more powerful. At only 3 years old, your physique is already comparable to that of an ordinary adult. Therefore, you were beaten by that group of pirates for 1 million Baileys. At a high price, they were sold to human traffickers in the underground world. Close black lens bracket. Year 4. You were sold to the celestial dragons by human traffickers. You became a slave of the celestial dragons. You were taken to the so-called Holy Land Mariajoy. Thanks to you being a time traveler, your mental age is not that of a child. You purchase your copy of Celestial Dragons for appreciation. Close black lens bracket. The 5th year, you use various means to please your master Saint Antomas in every possible way, and he becomes more and more satisfied with you. Close black lens bracket. 6th year. This year, you are still working hard to please your master, Saint Antomas. He is quite satisfied with you as a slave. Close black lens bracket. Year 7. You receive the reward given by Saint Antomas, Paramecia Devil Fruit Clone Fruit. Although as a time traveler, you don't really want to get the ability of Clone Fruit, you like it. The fruit is a fantasy beast species or Logia, but you have no choice, you get the Clone Fruit ability. 8th year. This year, everything is the same as before. On the surface, you are still extremely enthusiastic to please your master, Saint Antomas, but secretly, you are doing your best to develop Clone Fruit. Close black lens bracket. : closing parenthesis. Open black lens bracket. 10th year. Close black lens bracket. Opening square bracket, closing square bracket. From then on, until the 15th year, everything was exactly the same as what happened in the previous years. Zhongzhan in the simulated time travel has always lived in Mariajoy, honestly, and has been serving Saint Antomas extremely loyally. It was not until the 16th year that the situation changed. 16th year. Your master brought back 3 little girls. Their names are Boa Hancock, Boa Sandanasoya and Boa Marilyn Gorid, because the 3 of them are different. Because he is willing to obey the orders of Saint Antomas, he trusts you very much and has given you the task of training the 3 of them. Close black lens bracket. 17th year. Thanks to the talents of Lying on Fire and Tasting Guts and Dragon Bloodline, after 10 years of development, your development of Clone Fruit has reached a new level. Your Clone Fruit ability awakens, and you realize that the time you have been waiting for has come. Close black lens bracket. 18th year. When you followed Saint Antomas to a certain country, you were attacked by a group of pirates who did not know whether to live or die. In the chaos, you took advantage of the CP agents and marine generals on the ship to deal with the pirates. Use the ability of Clone Fruit to turn Saint Antomas into your appearance, and you, into his appearance. Close black lens bracket. I am Sao. Hold the grass. I will produce it. When he saw this time travel simulation message, Zhongzhan was completely stunned, and he even started to curse. Shock. He was shocked. Could he not be shocked? Clone Fruit. Can it still be used like this? Li Dai Dao Zong. In this time travel simulation, I actually played so coquettishly. After Zhongzhan calmed down for a while, he finally came to his senses. At this time, the time travel simulator had already simulated the plot for several years. Year 19. you did not kill Saint Antomas, but treated him like a dog and surrounded you. 20th year. In this year, a powerful fishman named Fergal Tiger came to Mariajoy and liberated the slaves of Mariajoy. Under the influence of the awakened clone fruit ability, you successfully killed him. The strength is kept in mind. Close black lens bracket. Year 21. Saint Antomas, who was transformed into you using clone fruit, died at the hands of another celestial dragons. You were sad about this for a long time, because you originally planned to you raised him until he was old, so one night, you used the appearance and identity of another celestial dragons in your memory to kill that celestial dragons, close black lens bracket. Year 22. Because of the death of Antomas, you are always holding a breath of anger in your heart, so you change your revenge target from Antomas alone to all celestial dragons. This year, you kill one celestial dragons every month. Look at the angry 5 elders, look at the celestial dragons and panic, you smile, close black lens bracket. 23 years. This year, another 12 celestial dragons died in your hands. The entire Mariajoy was on high alert. A large number of new slaves were killed by the celestial dragons because the celestial dragons we suspect that the perpetrator is a slave. No one doubts you, because no one would suspect a celestial dragons. Year 24. Boa Hancock fell in love with you because you killed a large number of celestial dragons. Under her initiative, you got married. Your heart, which was cold because of hatred, gradually warmed up. This year, you still killed 12 celestial dragons as usual, but your whereabouts were almost discovered by a certain 5 elders, close black lens bracket. Year 25. Because 12 celestial dragons were murdered for 3 consecutive years, the 5 elders were furious. A certain 5 elders ordered the complete killing of the slaves in Mariajoy, so you killed and replaced him, but in the end, the order to kill all the slaves in Mariajoy was issued. You had to use your identity as 5 elders in advance to let the 3 Boya sisters go. Close black lens bracket. Year 6. The continuous violent deaths of celestial dragons in the Holy Land of Mariajoy were discovered by I.M., who has been sequestered in Pengu City all year round. You 5 elders were summoned to Pengu City by her, but who knew that Pengu City among the flowers in the ancient city, only those with the blood of celestial dragons can enter. Your identity was exposed. After a battle, you used the abilities of Marine that you had imitated over the years and the top powerhouses in the world government to kill 5 elders, but finally died in the hands of I.M. In this battle, the entire Pengu City and even Mariajoy were directly destroyed. Almost all the celestial dragons living in Mariajoy died in the horrific battle. Under the aftermath, at the last moment of your life, you awakened Conqueror's Hockey. Call. Looking at the simulated time travel information on the light screen, Zhongzhan let out a sigh of relief. It's a pity that he's still dead. If he hadn't been exposed, he would have been able to kill all the celestial dragons in Mariajoy without even realizing it. It's a pity that Pengu entered among the flowers of Pengu City and actually needed celestial dragons. Only your bloodline will do, alas. After cooling off for a long time, Zhongzhan gradually came back to his senses. Recalling the entire process of traveling through the simulation, his eyes gradually brightened. Clone fruit can be so awesome. After awakening, it can not only imitate others, but also forcibly change the appearance of others. Not only that, when imitating others, it can also imitate other people's abilities. It's a bit awesome. In that case, thinking of this, Zhongzhan quickly came back to his senses and cast his eyes towards the light curtain. You are dead, this simulation has ended, cumulative survival time, 26 years, points earned, 29 points, simulator cooling time, 1 day. Close black lens bracket. In this simulation, you have obtained the following abilities: Shave, Iron Body, Moonwalk, Tempest Kick, Paper Arts, Finger Pistol, Observation Hockey, Armament Hockey, Conqueror's Hockey, Clone Fruit Ability. Please choose one to extract. Close black lens bracket. No need to say this. No need to ask. Of course I choose Clone Fruit. Ding dong, extracting Clone Fruit Ability. Ding dong, Clone Fruit has been extracted. The process is exactly the same as before. As the prompt sound of the time travel simulator fell, a fruit with a strange pattern suddenly appeared in Zhongzhan's hand. Well, looking at the clone fruit in his palm, Zhongzhan sighed again. How could he not sigh? After all, once he eats this clone fruit, once he obtains the clone fruit ability, it means that the resources he will need for training and improvement in the future will be 3/4 more than now. However, thinking of the powerful effect of clone fruit in this time travel simulation, Zhongzhan took a deep breath and finally swallowed it in 3 or 4 mouthfuls. Is this the power of clone fruit? Feeling the new energy coming out of his body, Zhongzhan's face was full of curiosity. It's a pity that I have just gained the power of clone fruit. I haven't stored anyone's appearance yet, otherwise I can try it now. This moment, Zhongzhan felt an itch in his heart. This feeling is just like the anxiety you feel when you just graduated from high school and your parents fulfilled their contract and bought you a high-end computer and iPhone online, but after waiting for 3 or 4 days, the courier did not deliver the goods. Feeling exactly the same. The 3 fruit abilities he obtained before, whether it is the Azure Dragon fruit ability, the Shock fruit ability, or the Thunder fruit ability, can be drawn directly after obtaining it. But clone fruit doesn't work. The ability of clone fruit cannot be used directly. If you want to use the ability of clone fruit, you must have someone as a reference. Almost, the sun is about to set. Although my current strength is not what it used to be, and I can easily kill the 5th level beast overlord with my own strength, but it is better to be more stable. It is still too late at night. It's dangerous, so let's go back to Garrison City number 1, just in time to try the clone fruit's ability. Muttering, Zhongzhan hurriedly turned around and galloped towards Garrison number 1. Along the way, it's still the same old rules. As long as Zhongzhan could kill all the ferocious beasts he encountered, even if it was a 3rd level low-grade ferocious beast, even if its crystal core was only worth 25,000, Zhongzhan had no intention of letting it go. What? Exhausting the lake to fish? GZ, bastard GZ. There are countless times more ferocious beasts in this world than humans, and their reproduction rate is no slower than humans. Zhongzhan wished he could kill a few more. With one kick, a 4th level ferocious beast was kicked to the ground. Zhang Xuanzheng took out its crystal core from its chest with great skill. Sudden, an extremely outrageous idea came to Zhongzhan's mind inexplicably. Can the ability of clone fruit allow me to imitate ferocious beasts? Think of this. Zhongzhan was stunned for a moment. Immediately afterwards, he neatly threw the crystal core he took out into the space ring. Soon, observation hockey suddenly surged out. Soon, Zhongzhan discovered a 4th level ferocious beast about 1,000 meters away on the left front. Tap. Next moment, he had already stepped on the shave and disappeared in place. On the grass, a 4th level ferocious pig-like beast was lying on the ground, recuperating. Suddenly, hoo-ho, a strong wind came. The ferocious pig-like beast quickly raised its head and looked in the direction of the strong wind. What caught its eye was a big foot with thunder and lightning. Boom. Next moment, Zhongzhan's right foot, filled with thunder fruit ability, had already kicked the pig-like ferocious beast in the face. Under great force, this 4th level pig-like ferocious beast flew out directly and landed heavily on the ground more than 10 meters away. As it flew backwards, countless crackling thunder enveloped it. Humph, humph, humph. All of a sudden, the screams of this 4th level pig-like beast resounded through the sky. Zhongzhan deliberately controlled the power of his kick. So, this pig-like ferocious beast did not die directly. Instead, after landing on the ground, it curled up into a ball and kept wailing. And this time, Zhongzhan has already chased in front of it. He stretched out his right hand and pressed down on the pig-like ferocious beast. Soon, the clone fruit ability in the body suddenly burst out. Almost in an instant, this energy returned to Zhongzhan's body. It's done. It's done. Clone fruit's ability can really imitate ferocious beasts. Feeling the energy that came back, which was different from the energy of clone fruit itself, Zhongzhan's face was suddenly filled with surprise. Surprisingly enough, Zhongzhan's body is still very honest. He quickly activated the energy that was vaguely similar to the aura exuded by the pig-like beast in front of him. Next moment, ha ha ha, the wailing pig-like beast was confused. Confused. No. To be precise, it should be said that he has a confused face. This pig-like ferocious beast was really confused. Completely confused. He was so confused that he even forgot about the pain on his body. He was so confused that he even forgot to scream. It is just a 4th level low-grade ferocious beast. And it was said before, the ferocious beast cannot possess true wisdom until it breaks through the 5th level. So, its underdeveloped brain was completely confused. What's the situation? What's happening here? What exactly is going on? Why did this human being, the smell of this human being that was unique to them, suddenly disappear? No, no, no. Why did the unique aura that only their ferocious beasts possess suddenly appear, and it was also the aura of their pig-like ferocious beasts? Could it be? Could it be? Could it be? The blood-red pupils of this pig-like beast stared at Zhang Zan, suddenly flashing with an inexplicable brilliance. Could it be that he is a 7th level beast king that can transform? And he is also a beast king from our wild pig clan. 7th level beasts are respected, so humans call them beasts at the 7th level, while within the beasts, they are called beasts. Same reason. The 8th level is the king, and the 8th level ferocious beasts are called king beasts, while the ferocious beasts call themselves the beast kings internally. The 9th level is the emperor. Humans become emperor beasts, and ferocious beasts call themselves beast emperors. But that's not right. Even a 7th level beast lord, an 8th level beast king, or even a 9th level beast emperor can't transform the beast's aura into a human aura. This guy, the aura on this guy just now is clearly the kind of aura that only exists on human beings, right? Could it be that I smelled it wrong just now? Zhang Zan didn't know that he was now recognized as a brother of the same race by the 4th level pig-like beast next to him. If he had known about it, Zhang Zan would have jumped up long ago, pointed at it and yelled, "Pig, pig, pig, your special mother is a pig. Your special mother is a pig. Ahem, let's get down to business." Zhang Zan is completely confused now. Before he made up his mind to use the clone fruit ability, he was already prepared to turn into a wild pig. Result: when he really used the ability of clone fruit, he discovered there was no change in my body. Yes, Zhang Zan is still the handsome Zhang Zan who is suave, handsome, loved by everyone, has flowers blooming every time, and cars with flat tires. After using the ability of clone fruit, he did not turn into a wild pig as he thought. Or even quite the opposite. Nothing has changed about him. What's happening here? Zhang Zan was immediately confused. His brows were furrowed, his face full of confusion. Zhang Zan could feel that his body was being affected by clone fruit's ability. But, exactly, his body just didn't change at all. What exactly is going on? The more Zhang Zan thought about it, the stronger the confusion and incomprehension in his heart became. Is it possible that the way I used clone fruit just now was wrong? Thinking this, Zhang Zan quickly removed the clone fruit ability lingering around his body. Humph, Lily. Immediately afterwards, almost at the same time that Zhang Zan removed the clone fruit, the extremely surprised snort of the 4th level wild pig on the ground suddenly sounded. The pig's face was confused. Its pig face was confused again. It's the breath of humanity. This is definitely a human scent. This is definitely a human scent. Before its underdeveloped pig brain could turn around, Zhang Zan once activated the clone fruit ability in his body. Quietly, the special energy of clone fruit quickly flowed throughout Zhang Zan's body, wrapping Zhang Zan's entire body in this layer of special energy. Humph, Lily. The ferocious beast was confused again. What's going on? What's going on? Why does this guy change so much? Why did the human aura on this guy turn into the aura of our wild pig clan? Is this guy a human or a pig? Humph, Lily, Lily. Humph, Lily, Lily. This wild pig and ferocious beast is not Sister Lee. It can't understand. Then, it kept making confused humming sounds from its mouth. Scream, 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 can you please be quiet? Zhang Zan was already upset because clone fruit had no effect on him at all. Now, the startled howling of the wild pig made the whole person feel upset. Armament hockey came out with a bang. 6 styles Tempest kick. With a sudden kick, it landed heavily on the 4th level ferocious pig CD beast. HMPH. With a tragic scream, the 4th level wild pig suddenly flew out and landed heavily on the ground dozens of meters away, dying suddenly on the spot. I originally wanted you to live a little longer, so I'm looking for death. After looking at the corpse of the wild pig with a look of disgust on his face, Zhongzhan quickly came back to his senses and frowned again as he thought about the reason for the failure of clone fruit. Next, he went back and forth, and after using clone fruit a dozen times in total, he finally discovered a clue. Wait. Zhongzhan's eyes suddenly lit up. He suddenly closed his eyes, held his breath and concentrated, feeling it wholeheartedly. The scene suddenly fell silent. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. 3 seconds later, Zhongzhan suddenly removed the clone fruit ability lingering in his body, and then held his breath again and felt it with all his heart. 3 seconds. Still 3 seconds. 3 seconds later. His eyes suddenly opened. The distress and sadness on his face immediately disappeared, replaced by a bright smile. I finally figured it out. It's not that there are no changes at all. When clone fruit imitates the ferocious beast, it doesn't imitate the appearance of the ferocious beast, but the breath of the ferocious beast. Not only that, while imitating the breath of ferocious beasts, it can also cover up the human breath on my body. Okay, this will be of great benefit to my future activities in the yellow warning area and red danger area. After all, if I carry the aura of a human being in a large number of dangerous areas, it will be of great benefit to me. If you are in an area where ferocious beasts are active, once you are smelled by ferocious beasts, you will definitely be chased by a large number of ferocious beasts, but if you stare at the breath of ferocious beasts, you will not have so much trouble. Thinking of this, Zhongzhan's eyes suddenly lit up. This moment, in his mind, he even had the bold idea of going deep into the yellow warning zone or even into the red danger zone. After all, the crack world is a world where the spiritual energy concentration is 10 times higher than the outside world. Logically speaking, in a world with such a high concentration of spiritual energy, there should be spiritual herbs and elixirs everywhere. But why has Zhongzhan not seen many spiritual herbs and elixirs in the wild despite living in the cracked world for so long? The reason is simple. Because the area where Zhongzhan has been active in the past few months is too close to garrison number 1. Before Zhongzhan came to the crack world, it had been swept away by others over and over again, like hoeing the earth. How many times have I tried it, but it's still his turn. If you want to get high-grade spiritual herbs and elixirs, you must go to an area far away from human activities, that is, deep in the crack world. But deep in the cracked world is the territory of the ferocious beasts. There are a large number of mid to high-level ferocious beasts living there. Even 7th, 8th or even 9th level superpowers would not dare to go deep into the world of cracks. Because, if when they are walking deep in the crack world, one of them is not careful or the other is not paying attention, and some ferocious beasts with extremely sensitive senses smell the human scent on their bodies, then they will be greeted by countless mid to high-level ferocious beasts. Under siege, the risk of death is as high as 90%. So, on the map of the cracked world, except for the few thousand kilometers surrounding the area of human activity, all the regional areas are gray. The gray foggy area that occupies 90% of the map refers to the area that humans have not set foot on so far. Although Zhongzhan came up with the idea of using the ability of clone fruit to go to the red dangerous area to dig for spiritual herbs and elixirs. And over again, I couldn't hear it echoing in Yang's heart. But Zhongzhan did not act rashly. After all, he is not a reckless person. On the contrary, he is a very stable person. First of all, I have to confirm one thing, that is, whether high-level ferocious beasts can see through clone fruit's aura camouflage. If high-level ferocious beasts can easily see through clone fruit's aura camouflage, then I risk if you recklessly go deep into the red danger zone, isn't that asking for your own death? Secondly, I have to spend some time and resources to improve the development level of clone fruit. After all, I have just obtained the ability of clone fruit. I can only maintain the breath disguise state for about an hour at most. Hours are not enough. Thinking of this, Zhongzhan's eyes flashed. Then he set out again. Of course, before setting off, Zhongzhan did not forget to dig up the crystal core of the 4th level wild pig beast. No matter how small a mosquito is, it is still meat. This is more than 600,000 points. On the way back to garrison number 1, Zhongzhan encountered vicious beasts every time. Whether it is a 3rd level, 4th level, or 5th level ferocious beast, it will immediately activate the clone fruit ability in the body, hide its human aura, disguise its own aura as that of a ferocious beast, and then move towards those the beast approaches. Then, Zhang Zan discovered a phenomenon that made him feel very interesting. All the ferocious beasts will become extremely nervous when they see Zhang Zan, who has the aura of a ferocious beast but looks like a human being approaching, and will immediately bow their heads towards Zhang Zan. Especially a 5th level low-grade ferocious beast that Zhang Zan encountered. When it saw Zhang Zan approaching in human form with the aura of a ferocious beast, it even knelt down directly towards Zhang Zan with great respect. At the same time, it also used its not very skilled mental power to send a message to Zhang Zan, Supreme Sir. Quote question mark 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 quote. Supreme Lord, what's the meaning? To be honest, Zhang Zan was confused the moment he heard this 5th level low-level ferocious beast overlord use his mental power to send a message to him. Because he didn't understand at all what the so-called Supreme Master, in the mouth of this ferocious beast overlord actually meant. But, immediately afterwards, thinking of this, every time he was under the influence of clone fruit and approached those ferocious beasts would immediately express their surrender to him. In addition, Zhang Zan recalled that the teacher of the high school ferocious beast class once said in class that once a ferocious beast breaks through the 7th level, it will transform into a human form. Suddenly, an extremely bold and absurd guess suddenly emerged in Zhang Zan's mind. Could it be that those ferocious beasts regard me as a high-level ferocious beast? Think of this. Zhang Zan's eyes suddenly turned to the 5th level low-grade ferocious beast overlord in front of him. Looking at its face full of flattery, Zhang Zan became more and more sure of the bold guess in his heart. Then there is no more. Then this 5th level low-level ferocious beast overlord was killed by Zhang Zan, who suddenly rose up. Until it died, it had not figured out why Zhang Zan, a high-level ferocious beast master who belonged to the barbarian beast emperor like him, would suddenly kill it. Because intelligent ferocious beasts under the same emperor beast, that is, ferocious beasts of the 5th level and above, generally will not kill each other. After all, they have a common object of allegiance. Boom! This ferocious beast overlord landed heavily. The ground trembled suddenly. It curled up weakly on the ground, its breath quickly dissipating. But, Rao is so. Its eyes were still wide open. Eyes full of confusion. Its eyes were fixed on Zhang Zan. Ho! From its mouth, weak howling sounds came out intermittently. It is obvious that it was during Zhou dynasty. Zhang Zan, why? Tap tap tap. Under its deadly gaze, Zhang Zan retreated from the green dragon form and quickly came to the overlord of the ferocious beast who was about to die. Want to know why? Zhang Zan's face was full of fun. The reason is very simple, because. With that said, Zhang Zan suddenly removed the clone fruit ability lingering around his body. Suddenly, the ferocious beast aura on Zhang Zan's body dissipated instantly, and the aura unique to humans surged out of his body again. Roar! Humans! This guy is actually human. Ah! I was deceived by cunning humans. The 5th level ferocious beast stared suddenly. Soon, anger attacks the heart. Puff! After a mouthful of blood spurted out, the 5th level ferocious beast took its last breath. Is he going to die now? His mental endurance is so weak. Zhang Zan smiled and complained, then quickly moved his hands and dug out the crystal core of this 5th level ferocious beast. But having said that, it's really interesting. The ferocious beasts actually regard me in the disguise of clone fruit as a high-level transformed ferocious beast. How interesting. After casually throwing the crystal core into the space ring, Zhang Zan's eyes suddenly flashed as he recalled what happened just now. The sun sets. At the last moment when the sun set, Zhang Zan finally returned to garrison number 1 smoothly. After his experiments along the way, and through the reactions of nearly 100 third order and fourth order ferocious beasts he encountered along the way, Zhang Zan was certain. Clone fruit's ability to simulate the breath of ferocious beasts can indeed hide all third and fourth order ferocious beasts. At the 5th level, Zhang Zan only met the poor wild pig along the way, so he couldn't make a conclusion yet. Back in the city, Zhang went straight to the Resource Points Redemption Center. After exchanging all his gains during the day for training resources, he did not go home directly, but ran to the underground experimental center first. Dong dong dong. Come in. Creak. The door was pushed open. Zhang Zan strode into an office in the underground experimental center. Lu Wade was sitting at the table, his head lowered, looking at an experimental data record as thick as a dictionary. It wasn't until Zhang Zan walked in front of him that he raised his head and looked at him. Little friend Zhang Zan, it's you, do you have anything to do with me? Lu Wade quickly put down the experimental data record in his hand and spoke enthusiastically with a smile on his face. Mr. Lu, I remember that there are many 5th and 6th order ferocious beasts in our laboratory. Zhang Zan asked. Well, yes, Lu Wade nodded. Let me show you. Well, we have taken into custody a total of 38 5th level overlord level beasts, and a total of 13 6th level totem level beasts. Hear the words. Zhang Zan's eyes suddenly lit up. What's wrong, little friend Zhang Zan, are you interested in these ferocious beasts? Where do you want to use these ferocious beasts? Lu Wade asked. Yes, Mr. Lu. Zhang Zan nodded and continued. But don't worry, Mr. Lu, I won't do anything to them, nor will I kill them. After all, they are precious experimental materials. I just have a little experiment, just want to use them. Okay, no problem, little friend Zhang Zan, when do you need to use them? Lu Wade asked. Is now okay? Of course, let's go, I'll take you there right now. Then I'll trouble Mr. Lu. Then, under Lu Wade's personal leadership, Zhang Zan went all the way to the west side of the underground laboratory where the ferocious beasts were imprisoned. Little friend Zhang Zan, go in, Tushan won't go in. Lu Wade led Zhang Zan to the closed cage of the first 5th level ferocious beast overlord, stopped, and said with a smile. Good. Zhang Zan nodded. Soon, he pushed open the prison doors made of special materials one after another and entered the cage. Before pushing open the last cell door and officially entering the cage, he quietly activated the clone fruit ability in his body. Moment. Clone fruit's special energy enveloped him. The unique human aura on his body disappeared in an instant, and was replaced by a ferocious beast aura that Zhang Zan had imitated from the 5th level low-grade ferocious beast overlord he had encountered before. Then, Zhang Zan then reached out, pushed open the last special cell door, and officially entered the cell. The cell was not big, and it could barely fit in a whole 5th level low-grade ferocious beast. The 4 legs of the ferocious beast were all locked to the ground by huge special shackles. Obviously, the body of this ferocious beast overlord was injected by the researchers at the research center with a drug that weakened it, making it limp and lying on the ground very weakly. It did not have the ferocious aura of the ferocious beast overlord in the wild. But, next second, it seemed to feel something. It turned its head vigorously and looked towards Zhang Zan. When it saw Zhang Zan in human form, its eyes suddenly glowed with excitement. Roar, the Supreme Lord, it roared excitedly. Seeing this, Zhang Zan's lips suddenly raised. He didn't say anything. After a faint glance at the ferocious beast overlord, he turned and left. The moment he turned to leave, Zhang Zan skillfully removed the clone fruit ability lingering on him. Roar, the 5th level low-grade ferocious beast overlord behind him suddenly roared in great confusion, and it froze. Outside the cell, how are you, little friend Zhang Zan? Did your little experiment yield any results? Seeing Zhang Zan come out, Lu Wade asked with a smile. I just did the experiment once, and the variables are too great, so I can't draw a conclusion yet. Zhang Zan said. Yes, that's it. When doing experiments, you have to control all the variables as much as possible. You have to conduct more experiments. If 1 time is not enough, then 10 times. If 10 times are not enough, then 100 times. Don't worry, we don't have enough test subjects. Anyway, we can catch quite a few during the beast tide every month. Lu Wade said as he led Zan to another cage. Still the same. Zhang Zan pushed open the special prison doors one after another. Before opening the last prison door, he used the clone fruit ability to cover his whole body before entering. That's all. One head, then one head. Soon, Zhang Zan went in to test all 38 5th level ferocious beast overlords, from 5th level low level ones to 5th level perfect ones. The results of the experiment made him very satisfied. These 38 ferocious beast overlords, whether they are 5th level low level ones or 5th level perfect ones, have not seen through the disguise of clone fruit. Immediately afterwards, under the leadership of Lu Wade, Zhang Zan went to the area of Mayab's large level ferocious beast totem. None of the 13 6th level ferocious beast totems saw through the disguise of clone fruit lingering on Zhang Zan. Even the totem level ferocious beast with an energy level as high as 195 million, which is the 6th order perfection limit, could not see through it. And they are without exception. The moment they saw Zhang Zan, they all used their spiritual power to express their surrender to Zhang Zan. Their intention is obvious. They want Zhang Zan, the high-level ferocious beast master who secretly sneaked into the human experiment center, to save them. The door to the cell of the last totem-level ferocious beast that reached the 6th level of perfection. Zhang Zan's face was full of joy and he walked out of it with long strides. Little friend Zhang Zan, look at you, your little experiment was a success. Seeing this, Lu Wade came forward with a smile. I have to thank you, Mr. Lu. Zhang Zan humbly bowed his hand towards him. Ha 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 ha, you're too polite, it's just a little effort. Lu Wade suddenly touched his beard and laughed. While laughing, he continued, I have lived for most of my life. I have experienced everything I should experience and enjoyed everything. My biggest hope in this life is to make my name resound throughout the world. Kyushu, and the main person in charge of the Crystal Core Bomb research team, can fully meet my greatest expectations in this life. As Lu Wade spoke, a flush of excitement gradually appeared on his face. He stared at Zhang Zan and continued, Zhang Zan, I would have to thank you more. If you hadn't taken the initiative to hide yourself as the founder of the crystal nuclear bomb, with your identity, how can I, an old man who is over 100 years old, get the glory now? I owe you this. So, if you have anything in the future, just come to me. As long as I can help you, I will definitely try my best to help. Not to mention using a group of 5th level and 6th level ferocious beasts for experiments, even if you want to use the 7th level beast imprisoned in the deepest part of our experimental center for experiments, it's no problem. Hear the words. Zhang Zan was stunned at first. Soon, his eyes suddenly lit up with joy. 7th level beast. He stared with ecstasy on his face and said, Mr. Lu, there is still a 7th level beast in our research center. Yeah, why, didn't I tell you just now? Lu Wade was slightly startled. Yes, no, Zhang Zan recalled. Ha 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 ha, it seems I forgot. Alas, I am getting old, and I am becoming more and more useless. Lu Wade smiled and shook his head. Looking at you, you should be thinking about that 7th level beast, right? Hey, Zhang Xuanan smiled and scratched his head. You boy, what should I say about you? Should I say that you are courageous? Or should I say that you are young and ignorant? You are only at the level of 3rd level mid-level cultivation, but you dare to even think about the idea of a 7th level beast. Lu Wade said, suddenly waved his hand and said, let's go, that 7th level beast is imprisoned in the lowest cage of the experimental center, this way. Okay, Zhang Zan quickly followed. The closer he got to the place where the 7th level beast was imprisoned, the more excited Zhang Zan became. Level 5 and Level 6, although it is also an intelligent and ferocious beast. But, according to the division of this world, 5th level and 6th level beasts are still only mid-level beasts. They cannot transform, although their wisdom is already very high. But, they are still a little inferior in front of high-level ferocious beasts. There is an invisible gap between the middle level and the high level. It is very difficult to advance from level 6 to level 7. Especially for ferocious beasts. Among the ferocious beasts, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th level ferocious beasts are equivalent to food. The 5th level and 6th level ferocious beasts are equivalent to slaves in a slave society. Only 7th, 8th, and 9th level ferocious beasts are like slave masters. That is to say, in the society of ferocious beasts, only the 7th, 8th and 9th order ferocious beasts are the real masters. Please give me flowers. This shows how big the gap is between high-level ferocious beasts and mid-level ferocious beasts. This is an essential difference. So, when Zhang Zan learned that a 7th level beast was imprisoned in the experimental center, he showed the excited and eager expression just now, regardless of his image. Clone Fruit's ability can hide from 5th level and 6th level ferocious beasts. It's nothing. If it can hide from high-level ferocious beasts, then Zhongzhan will have much room for maneuver in the red danger zone in the future. Speaking of which, Mr. Liu, when was that 7th level beast captured by you? Doesn't it mean that ferocious beasts above the 7th level will basically not appear in the yellow warning area? On the way to the cage where the 7th level beast was imprisoned, Zhongzhan couldn't help but ask. About half a month ago, they were captured by 3 7th level superpowers who came from the outside world to experience the crack world. According to what they meant, they were looking for high-level spiritual herbs and elixirs in the wild areas of the red danger zone. When I was traveling, I bumped into it accidentally, and then Lu Wade said and laughed. Then there is no more. It is just a beast that has just entered the 7th level. Facing 3 of our human 7th level mid-level superpowers, how can it be an opponent? He didn't even have a chance to escape, he was immediately caught by the 3 of them. Originally, according to the wishes of the 3 of them, they planned to kill it directly, but because they had been out exploring for more than half a month and had not gained much, they decided to. I just tied it back and sold it to our experimental center. You can sell 7th level ferocious beasts. Zhongzhan's eyes suddenly widened, and then asked, it must be very expensive, right? It's okay. As high-level ability users, they also understand that official finances have been tight recently, so they didn't ask for a high price and only asked for 8 billion. 8 billion. 8 billion is not much. Zhongzhan suddenly stared. He even had the urge to go to the red danger zone and kidnap the 7th level ferocious beasts and sell them back. 8 billion a lot. 8 billion is not much. After all, this is a 7th level beast. And this is a living 7th level beast. A dead 7th level beast is definitely not worth this. A lot of money, but a living 7th level ferocious beast and a dead 7th level ferocious beast are not the same concepts. Okay, we're here. It's here. Go in. Remember, you must not be inside. If you stay too long, you can only stay in there for 10 minutes at most, otherwise your spirit will easily be affected by its cruel aura as a 7th level ferocious beast in silence. Quote. But don't worry, that 7th level beast was locked to the ground by us with special shackles that were enough to lock the 8th level king beast, and even its power was sealed by us. Safety is absolutely no problem. Lu Wade stopped, pointed at the huge special cell door in front of him, and said, I see. Zhongzhan nodded, and immediately under Lu Wade's gaze, he strode to the huge door of the cell. Push the door open and come in. It's the same cell that used to hold those 5th and 6th order ferocious beasts. The cell where this 7th level beast is imprisoned is also made up of layers of walls like Matryoshka dolls. After pushing open 9 huge special portals in succession, Zhongzhan stopped. Ha. 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 Breathe deeply. Breathe deeply. Breathe deeply. After taking a dozen deep breaths in a row, he was mentally prepared. Soon, in vivo, Clone Fruit's ability is activated quietly. For a moment, the energy of Clone Fruit enveloped his entire being. Subsequently, Zhongzhan then reached out and pushed open the last door. It's completely different from the dark prison cell Zhongzhan imagined. This is a very bright and spacious room. However, the layout of this room is very simple, with only one chair fixed on the floor in the center of the room. Sitting on the chair was a woman who looked to be about 20 years old, with a voluptuous figure, a graceful figure, and a face that looked like beauty and disaster. The woman's hands and feet were locked by huge chains and connected to the ground. There was a huge black collar hanging on her neck. As if she heard the rumbling sound of the door opening, the beautiful woman slowly turned her head and looked in the direction of the door. The moment I saw Zhongzhan, her eyes suddenly flashed. Who asked you to come? Could it be my father? After staring at Zhongzhan, she suddenly spoke. Said. Under Zhongzhan's keen gaze, she slowly reached out and took off the shackles worn by the researchers at the research center. This moment, Zhongzhan's heart suddenly shook. It was like a violent storm had set off, and it would be difficult to calm down for a long time. What's going on? What's happening here? Didn't he say? Didn't Mr. Liu say that this 7th level beast was shackled to death in a cell? How could he break free of the shackles so easily? No. What kind of escape is this? This has nothing to do with breaking free, right? What's the situation? What exactly is going on? Zhongzhan was completely shocked when he witnessed the whole process of the transformed beast easily taking off the shackles on his hands and feet. The whole person was completely stunned. Swish, swish, swish. And at this time, accompanied by crisp footsteps, the transformed beast came step by step in front of Zhongzhan. Looking at Zhongzhan with a panicked face, she suddenly frowned. The blood-red pupils suddenly flashed. Suspicions arose. She suddenly moved closer to Zhongzhan. He took a deep breath at Zhongzhan. It was confirmed that the aura on Zhongzhan's body was that of their ferocious beasts. After confirming that there was no human breath on Zhongzhan's body, she breathed a sigh of relief. And this time, Zhongzhan finally came to his senses. Tell me, why did my father suddenly send you here at this time? What should I do if Li Shi is exposed? Is there a change of plan? The woman Yaren asked. Zhongzhan said nothing. He didn't dare to speak rashly at all. Because once he says something wrong, he will be greeted by death. The power of the high-level transformed beast in front of him was definitely not sealed as Lu Wade said. Otherwise, how could she be able to release the shackles of 790 so easily? Wait, no, 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 something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. Even if something goes wrong and her power is not sealed, then she shouldn't be able to break free from the shackles, right? According to Mr. Liu, the shackles used to lock this high-level transformed beast can theoretically lock even an 8th-level beast. Is it difficult? Is it difficult? Is it difficult? This moment, an extremely bold and absurd guess suddenly emerged in Zhongzhan's mind. Could it be that this high-level transformed beast is not, as Mr. Liu said, just a senior-level beast that has just entered the 7th level? It is an 8th-order king beast, and it is also the kind of king beast that reaches the 8th-order perfection or even the 8th-order perfection limit. We do not even rule out the possibility that she is a 9th-order imperial beast. Otherwise, how could she possibly be able to lock the 8th-order ferocious beast? The shackles are like nothing. Zhongzhan was frightened. I was frightened by this bold guess that suddenly popped up in my mind. And, no matter what Zhongzhan thought, he felt that his bold guess was most likely the truth. So, here comes the problem. First, why was a king beast that was at least the 8th level of perfection easily captured by 3 7th level mid-level superpowers? Second, it is obviously a perfect king beast of the 8th level. Why do you pretend to be a revered beast that has just entered the 7th level? No matter how you think about it, there is something wrong, right? Conspiracy. There is definitely a conspiracy. In addition to what this high-level transformed beast said just now, tell me, why did my father suddenly send you here at this time? What if you are exposed? Could it be that the plan has changed? Exposed. Plan. The ferocious beasts in the cracked world are plotting a conspiracy, and their target is basically garrison number 1. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I must pass on this information, I must pass on this information. Thinking of this, Zhongzhan tried hard to calm down. Why does it calm down instead? Because he knows. Whether he can deceive this high-level transformed beast and successfully escape from this cell will mean whether garrison number 1, no, it should be said that Kyushu can avoid a big conspiracy of the beast. The more crisis you are in, the more calm you need. Thinking of the heavy burden and responsibility on his shoulders, Zhongzhan quickly calmed down. Speak. Why don't you speak? The high-level transformed beast that turned into a peerless beauty frowned in dissatisfaction and asked. Not good. We cannot remain silent any longer. Otherwise she will definitely become suspicious. Thinking of this, Zhongzhan's mind suddenly started spinning rapidly. There is a saying that goes like this. The more desperate a person is in a desperate situation, the more potential he can unleash unprecedented potential. And what Zhongzhan was in at the moment was not just his own desperate situation. If he cannot escape smoothly, the entire garrison city know the 1st of May be swallowed up by the vicious beast's conspiracy. My mind is spinning rapidly. Next moment, a bold plan suddenly emerged in his mind. Your Highness, Your Highness. Zhongzhan suddenly spoke to the spiritual power of the high-level transformed beast in front of him. Why is your mental power so unstable? The high-level transformed ferocious beast's confused questioning voice sounded immediately afterwards. Your Highness, my body is not here, I I belong to the soul-eating beast clan. This body is just a body that I captured. It's just the body of a young human genius. Zhongzhan used his mental power to transmit the message intermittently. True character appears. Zhongzhan's mental power is not very high to begin with. He has just reached the entry level for using mental power to transmit sound. Moreover, this is his first time trying to use mental power to transmit sound, so the intermittent use of super long-range mental power to transmit sound, the feeling was vividly performed by him. Soul-eating beast clan. Hear the words. The woman's eyes suddenly became sharp. Immediately afterwards, an inexplicable pressure swept through Zhongzhan's body. The woman stared at Zhongzhan with sharp eyes, and said in a cold voice, I have heard of the name of your soul-eating beast clan, and I also know your soul-eating beast clan's capabilities, but after taking away the power of human beings, you soul-eating beast clan, after the body is removed, won't the human aura on that body be replaced by the aura of our ferocious beasts? The woman continued, there are a lot of aura detection devices installed in the human city. How did you get in? Even my father and the others couldn't completely cover up the original aura of the ferocious beasts on their bodies. How did you do it? Arrived. Your Highness, Princess, Zhongzhan said in a trembling voice, to be honest with you, Your Highness, I have created a method based on the inherited secret skills of our soul-eating beasts that can completely curb the origin of our ferocious beasts. The secret technique of breath. What? Hearing this, the woman was immediately startled, stared and asked, are you serious? Have you really created that kind of secret skill? Yes, yes, Zhongzhan trembled and said intermittently. Then you demonstrate it to me, Princess. The high-level transformed beast said with doubt on his face. Your Highness, Princess, yes, it's like this. After using this secret skill, it consumes a lot of energy every second. If it were me, I could maintain it in the secret skill state for several hours. No problem, but what I am using now is the body of this human genius, so naturally I am also using the energy in this human genius body. With the cultivation level of this human genius, I can only maintain my secret skill state for 15 minutes at most. Before Zhongzhan finished speaking, the high-level transformed beast suddenly spoke. What are you afraid of? The high-level transformed beast said and suddenly waved his hand. Soon, 5 spiritual grasses exuding strong spiritual energy appeared in front of Zhongzhan. Eat, this is what I reward you from the princess. The high-level transformed beast threw the 5 spiritual grasses to Zhongzhan and said. Lying on grass, lying on grass, lying on grass. This aura concentration. Is this at least a 7th level spiritual grass? Is the beast princess so wealthy? 5 7th level spiritual grasses in one shot. Zhongzhan was shocked, but, shocked, his body was honest enough to pick up the 5 7th level spiritual grasses. At the same time, he used his mental power to transmit a message. Thank you, princess, for your gift. Stop talking nonsense. The ferocious beast princess quickly urged. Hurry up and show me the secret technique you created. This princess has been bored to death in the cage built by humans these days. Yes, Zhongzhan nodded, and immediately withdrew a little bit of the clone fruit energy lingering on him. Suddenly, the aura of human origin that was originally hidden by clone fruit emanated from Zhongzhan's body. Surprisingly, it's actually true. It can really contain the original aura of a vicious beast. Sensing the aura of human origin that suddenly emanated from Zhongzhan's body, the blood-red eyes of the ferocious beast princess suddenly lit up. What's your name? She asked suddenly. Your Highness Princess, my name is Chi. Zhongzhan said intermittently. Shi Ni Ba, you are very good. You can actually create this kind of secret skill. My father often said that I am a genius. He said that it only took 100 years to break through to the 9th level Beast Emperor realm. I am the most ferocious of us. You are a genius that is rare to see in 100 years, but compared with you, I am still a little behind. Princess Fierce Beast said with ecstasy on her face. The secret technique you created to restrain the origin of ferocious beasts can play a vital role in helping us ferocious beasts break out of the cracks. Think about it, if my father and the others have also practiced this secret skill, and after condensing their original aura of ferocious beasts, they quietly sneak into human cities, and under a sneak attack, they can definitely successfully kill the 9th level Emperor of Humans. Once the 9th-level human emperor dies, our army of ferocious beasts can easily break through human cities and go to the human world. I heard from those humans from the Imperial Beast cult that the human world is full of delicious humans. Just thinking about that picture makes people fascinated. As she spoke, the ferocious beast princess subconsciously reached out and wiped the corners of her mouth. Your Highness, the princess, is so complimentary. Zhang Zan quickly transmitted the message intermittently. I am not as talented as Her Royal Highness said. My secret skill was modified based on the inherited secret skill of our soul-eating beast clan. Currently it can only be used by our soul-eating beast clan. Hearing this, the excitement on the face of the ferocious beast princess suddenly decreased by half. She looked regretful and said, "Can it only be used by your soul-eating beast clan? That's such a pity. Please rest assured, Your Highness, Princess, I will definitely try my best to further develop this secret skill, so that it can be used for all evil spirits as soon as possible." Beasts use it, Zhang Zan assured intermittently. Well, you can do it. Niba, you can definitely do it. This princess believes in you. The ferocious beast princess nodded with appreciation, then suddenly took out a ring from nowhere and threw it away. Gave it to Zhang Zan. Your Highness, Princess, this is. Zhang Zan asked intermittently with his mental power. This is the space ring I got from killing a human with 8th level superpower. It's not very big, only about 300 or 400 cubic meters. Originally, it was filled with all kinds of spiritual herbs. It is a resource for elixirs, but when I broke through to the 9th level not long ago, I used a lot of them, and there is still a small part left. Although it is only a small part, it is enough for you, a guy who has just entered the 7th level, to use it for a while. Seeing that you have created a secret technique that can converge the original aura of our ferocious beasts. This ring and the spiritual herbs and elixirs inside are all given to you. I hope you can successfully improve your secret skills as soon as possible and not let me live up to my high hopes. The Beast Princess said with piercing eyes. Thank you, Your Highness the Princess, for the reward. I will eat Niba and I will never let down the expectations of Your Highness the Princess. Zhang Xuanlian's voice transmission said. Okay, let's get down to business. The fierce Beast Princess said, my father asked you to come to me. What happened? Could it be that the plan has changed? No, it's not. Xiao just accidentally learned that a 7th level beast of our ferocious beast was imprisoned in a human being through the body of a human genius captured in the underground experimental center. That's why I came here specifically, wondering if I could find an opportunity to release it. I didn't expect that the person imprisoned here turned out to be the great princess, you. Zhang Zan said in a message. I see. The fierce beast princess showed a look of sudden realization. I'm telling you. Now I see that in a few days, the White Moon Day is coming, and the plan is about to be implemented. How can my father? At this juncture, you would suddenly take the risk of sending someone here, that's it. Plan. Zhang Zan quickly used his mental power to ask intermittently, Your Highness, Princess, I came here rashly. No. I won't disturb your plan, right? Quote. No, your secret skill is very powerful. When you use this secret skill with all your strength, I can't feel the original breath of your beast at all. You know, the smell of our beast clan is much stronger than humans. Even I can't feel your beast's original aura, let alone humans. Don't worry, you will definitely not cause any harm to humans if you come to my side. Kind of vigilant, the ferocious beast princess said, suddenly flashed back to the seat in the center of the cage, and quickly put the shackles on herself again, and said at the same time, there is someone coming from outside, just in time. Get ready to come in, and quickly restrain your original aura of the ferocious beast. Yes, Your Highness Princess. Zhang Zan quickly took back the clone fruit ability lingering on him. Your Highness, Princess, I'll leave first. Go for it. The shackled beast princess waved her hand and then closed her eyes. Zhang Zan saw this and left the cage step by step. As soon as he walked out of the cage, Zhang Zan ran into Lu Wade, who had been waiting for a long time. Little friend Zhang Zan, you have finally come out, so you can make me wait easier. Lu Wade glanced up and down at Zhang Zan with a worried face, and when he saw Zhang Zan's natural expression, he was relieved. Mr. Liu, I'm fine. The 7th level beast inside has been sealed by you, and it also has shackles that can imprison the 8th level beast. What can happen to me? As for my mental strength, I'm not come out before the 10 minutes ends. As Zhang Zan spoke, he hurriedly said, Mr. Liu, I won't say it anymore. After this night's experiment, I have gained a lot. I have a brand new idea. I can't wait to try it. My new idea. Go go. Liu Wade smiled and waved. Zhang Zan nodded hurriedly, and then strode away in a hurry. He looked like he was inspired and couldn't wait to try it. All the way up, throughout the whole process, Zhang Zan was worried. It wasn't until the moment he stepped out of the underground research center that Zhang Zan's tense heart relaxed. But Zhang Zan's face still had a dull expression. Because what is imprisoned in the underground research center is a 9th level imperial beast. Although according to the fierce beast princess herself, she had just broken through to the 9th level not long ago. But the 9th level you just broke through is also considered the 9th level. Below the 9th level, all are doctrines. This sentence is no joke. Zhang Zan couldn't guarantee whether the ferocious beast princess was using her terrifying mental power as a 9th level imperial beast to observe him. So, he can't let any clues slip now. After leaving the underground research center, Zhang Zan walked all the way outside the military camp. After walking near Li Shu's office, Zhang Zan finally breathed a sigh of relief. After all, Li Shu is also at the 9th level. And the 9th level mental power of a human being, but the 9th level mental power of a ferocious beast, opened wide. Zhang Zan didn't think that 23, that stupid sweet beast princess who was easy to deceive, dared to radiate her spiritual power in the main activity area of Li Shu, the 9th level human emperor. And Zhang Zan can tell one thing from the conversation with the stupid and sweet beast princess who is easy to deceive. That is, they are about to implement their plan. Moreover, they think that they are hiding very well, they think that their plan is very seamless, and they value this plan very much. This can be known from the fact that the silly, sweet and ferocious beast princess did not hesitate to risk her own life and risk being exposed, and personally lurked into the number 1 garrison city. The more they value this plan, the less they want things to go wrong before the plan is about to be implemented. So, from Zhang Zan's point of view, no matter how courageous the silly beast princess was, even if she dared to radiate her spiritual power from the underground research center, she would never dare to go to Ji Shouli's office. Omitted from the location. Off. Zhang Zan breathed a sigh of relief. With the release of this breath, his spirit, which had been tense for so long, completely relaxed. Tap tap tap. The whole person staggered a few steps, and finally sat down on the concrete floor. Ha. Dot 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 ha. While gasping for breath, countless sweat was already pouring out from Zhang Zan's forehead and back. In an instant, Zhang Zan was sweating profusely. The clothes were wet. It's like just crawling out of the lake. It's just physical. Mentally, Zhang Zan was not much better. At that moment when the breath came out, Zhang Zan's spirit was completely unbearable. His spirit instantly entered a state of overdraft. Before my eyes, golden flowers appeared. My mind feels heavy. This is normal. This is a very normal thing. After all, in less than 10 minutes, in order to gain the trust of the silly, sweet and ferocious beast princess, Zhang Zan's mental power was at the highest level of tension every second. Hoo ho ho. Ho ho. All of a sudden, heavy and rapid breathing sounds came and went. Zhang Zan waited for 5 or 6 minutes before he finally regained his composure. Then, he took out the space ring that the silly, sweet, ferocious beast princess threw to him. I just regained some mental strength and swiped at this space ring. Then, ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Zhang Zan's extremely proud and excited laughter suddenly came to mind. This moment, his laughter was so wild and wanton, accompanied by his loud laughter. Suddenly, the conqueror's hockey inside him surged. Zhang Zan's conqueror's hockey has grown spontaneously again. Well, this is, my conqueror's hockey has become stronger. Ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, silly beast princess, you are really my blessing. Ha 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 ha. Feeling the sudden and powerful conqueror's hockey in his body, Zhongzhan's smile suddenly became louder and more excited. Having said that, she is indeed the fierce beast princess of the crack world. She is really rich. According to her, the remaining spirit grass and spirit fruits in this space ring are only a small part, right? When Zhongzhan got such a space ring from the silly, sweet and ferocious beast princess, he wasn't actually very excited. After all, the stupid beast princess also said it, and she said it very clearly. This ring originally contained a large amount of spiritual grass and spiritual fruit, but when she broke through to the 9th level, most of it was used up, leaving only a little bit. So, Zhongzhan originally thought, the little bit from the mouth of the silly, white, sweet and ferocious beast princess is not a lot. However, the amount of spiritual grass and spiritual fruit left in the space ring was many times more than Zhongzhan originally thought. There are at least 30 spiritual herbs and medicinal herbs, and without exception, all are high-level spiritual herbs, most of which are 7th-level spiritual herbs, and there are 2 8th-level spiritual herbs. A 7th-level spiritual grass, an ordinary one, can probably be exchanged for 200 million points, but it is obvious that these 7th-level spiritual grasses are not ordinary spiritual grasses. They are relatively precious spiritual grasses, and the price is at least doubling. That means one plant can be exchanged for 400 million points. An ordinary 8th-level spiritual grass can be exchanged for about 500 million points in the Resource Point Exchange Center, and a rare 8th-level spiritual grass can be exchanged for 1 billion points. Hiss. After Zhongzhan made a quick calculation in his mind, he couldn't help but take a breath of air. Soon, the smile on his face became brighter and brighter. I'm getting rich. I'm really getting rich this time. Counting the 5 7th-level rare spiritual grasses she gave me at the beginning, there are 33 plants in total. On average, each plant counts 400 million points, which is 13.2 billion points. 2 rare 8th-level spiritual grasses, worth 20 points, so calculated, I got a total of about 15 billion points in this wave. No. More than that. More than that. More than that. Zhongzhan's eyes suddenly locked on the space ring in his hand, and his eyes flickered. Master Li Shu gave me the space ring with a space of 100 cubic meters. The market price is 5 billion, let alone this space ring with a space of almost 300 cubic meters. The price of this space ring is higher than the one that Master Li Shu gave me, times 3. Bar. That is to say, in this wave, I got 30 billion points directly from the silly, sweet and ferocious beast princess. By the way, my conqueror's haki also spontaneously grew. I can feel it. You can now freely control the power and scope of influence of conqueror's haki according to your own will. Thinking of this, Zhongzhan's smile became even brighter. A good person, no, I should say a good beast. That vicious beast princess is really a good beast. Muttering, Zhongzhan took out a bottle of spiritual liquid from his space ring. After swallowing a whole bottle of spiritual liquid in 3 mouthfuls, he put his hands on the ground and stood up from the ground bit by bit. Then, step by step, he arrived at Li Shu's office. Dong dong dong. Come in. Zhongzhan pushed the door open, and then saw Li Shu standing at the window. Teacher. Zhongzhan greeted. Something good happened to you. You laughed so happily, I could hear your laughter even with the windows and doors closed. Li Shu said, turning his head and looking towards Zhongzhan. After glancing Zhongzhan up and down, his brows suddenly wrinkled. What happened? Why do you look like you are surviving the disaster? He asked confused. Teacher, the thing is like this, you listen to me and I will tell you slowly. Afterwards, Zhongzhan told Jishu what happened in detail. What? When Zhongzhan mentioned that the 7th-level ferocious beast imprisoned in the underground research center was actually a 9th-level imperial beast that used some special means to hide its strength, Li Shu's expression suddenly changed. Disciple, do you really mean what you say? He asked, glaring. It's absolutely true. Zhongzhan nodded without hesitation. A 9th-level imperial beast, disguised as a 7th-level noble beast, sneaked into the city quietly and planned to implement a certain plan on the White Moon Day in a few days. Li Shu murmured, his face gradually becoming serious. Disciple, you did a good job this time. Without you, when the White Moon Beast Tide arrives in a few days, Garrison Number 1 will probably be destroyed. Disaster. After saying that, Li Shu glanced at Zhongzhan with kindness and approval, and said, you and the 9th level Emperor Beast Shu and Weish have spent a lot of physical and mental energy. Go back and have a good rest first. The next thing will be left to you. Teacher, I'll just take care of it. Yes, master. Zhang Zan nodded and immediately exited Ji Shu's office. Zhang Zan didn't care about what happened next. Or should I say, I can't control it anymore. After all, this is a big event involving the 9th level Emperor Beast. How can he, a small 3rd level ability user, be qualified to intervene in such a big event? After returning to his house, Zhang Zan did not practice. He is so tired. Although he only had less than 10 minutes, in those less than 10 minutes, he was deceiving a 9th level Emperor Beast. What is the concept of 9th level Imperial Beast? Let alone a 9th level Imperial Beast. Even if it is a 7th level beast, standing still and letting Zhang Zan hit him, at this level. Even if Zhang Zan of Duan exhausted himself to death, he might not be able to break its skin, let alone the 9th level Imperial Beast. Everyone below the 9th level is an ant. This sentence is not a joke. Return home. Zhang Zan, who was diligent and frugal, was generous for once. He poured a whole bottle of 5th level spiritual liquid directly into the bathtub, and then took a comfortable spiritual liquid bath. A bottle of 5th grade low-grade spiritual fluid is worth 5 million. That is to say, Zhang Zan took a bath worth 5 million. If it were normal times, how could he be willing to spend 5 million to take a bath? But today is different. Zhang Zan is happy. He was so happy. 30 billion. 10 minutes, it only took him 10 minutes to make the silly, sweet and ferocious beast princess willingly give him 30 billion. Just ask, how can Zhang Zan be unhappy or not be excited? I already got 30 billion, so I spent 5 million to take a bath. What's wrong? Just as Zhang Zan was taking a bath comfortably. Garrison number 1. Military camp. In Li Shu's office. Swish. 2 figures suddenly appeared in his office. Li Shu, you suddenly contacted us using the emergency communicator. What happened? Zhang Zan's second master, Zhang Demon, and his third master, Ma Wentao, frowned and asked Li Shu. Zhang, Lao Ma, this is what happened. Li Shu told the 2 people about the matter with a solemn face. A few minutes later, the words fell. The room suddenly became quiet. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, ... Zhang Demon suddenly let out a sigh of relief and said happily, fortunately we knew about this matter in advance, otherwise it would have been terrible. Yes, after Ma Wentao agreed, he suddenly said with a red face, you are indeed our disciple. Yes, hear the words. A blush appeared on Zhang Demon and Li Shu's originally extremely serious faces. The eyes and faces of the 3 of them. For a while. Full of deep pride. After a while, the 3 of them recovered from their pride in Zhang Zan. Li Shu, you called the 2 of us over. Could it be that you want to join forces with the 2 of us to raid and capture the 9th level Imperial Beast that sneaked into the city? Zhang Demon suddenly said. No, Li Shu shook his head, his eyes flashed slightly, and said, since the 9th level Imperial Beast can lurk in so smoothly, it means that there is definitely a traitor in garrison number 1, and it is very likely that there is a traitor. The bastards from the Imperial Beast cult have sneaked in, and I plan to use them to their advantage. The next day, early in the morning, before it was even bright, Zhang Zan had already woken up early. After washing up, Zhang Zan couldn't wait to start today's practice. Why are you so impatient? The reason is simple. Because the spiritual herbs and elixirs that the silly and sweet beast princess gave him were all high-level spiritual herbs and elixirs. One plant is worth hundreds of millions of points. The medicinal effects of these high-level spiritual herbs and elixirs are no joke. After taking it, the effect is at least 7 to 8 times or more than the 3rd and 4th order elixirs that Zhang Zan took during his previous training. And this 7 or 8 times is just Zhang Zan's conservative estimate. After all, they are high-level spiritual herbs and elixirs. Under normal circumstances, they are specially used by high-level ability users to practice. It is indeed a spiritual grass worth 400 million yuan. It is indeed a high-level spiritual grass. Just smelling the fragrance it emits makes the spiritual power in my body become active. If I eat it, it's great. Looking at the 7th level spiritual grass in his hand, Zhang Zan couldn't help but sigh. Take a deep breath. After being mentally prepared, Thank you for the gift from the silly beast princess. Zhongzan silently thanked him in his heart and swallowed the 7th level spiritual grass in one gulp. Next moment, boom, an extremely powerful medicinal effect suddenly surged out of Zhongzan's belly. In an instant, it swept through his whole body. Damn it, is this medicine so weak? Feeling that his body was about to burst in an instant, Zhongzan entered the dragon form without even thinking. However, not long after he entered the dragon human form, he was once again filled to the brim with the huge and brutal effects of the drug. After the effect of this medicine filled Zhongzan's body in dragon form, it began to radiate out of his body extremely quickly along the hairs all over his body. Zhongzan didn't even think about it, and activated the azure dragon fruit in his body with all his strength. Next moment, he directly transformed into a blue dragon. The effect is the same as the dragon form. In the dragon form, Zhongzan's attributes in all aspects will be increased threefold, and even the absorption speed of the medicinal effects of the spiritual grass and spiritual fruit can be increased threefold. In the complete green dragon form, Zhongzan's attributes in all aspects will be increased tenfold. Naturally, this also includes the speed at which his body absorbs the medicinal effects of the spiritual grass and fruit. But, although it has 10 times the absorption speed, why has Zhongzan practiced in the dragon form in the past few months? The reason is simple. Because he cannot stay in the blue dragon form for a long time like the dragon form. He can only maintain the blue dragon form for about 10 minutes at a time. After all, still the same sentence, there is no free lunch in the world. The tenfold blessing given by the blue dragon form requires a corresponding price to support it. The price Zhongzan paid was horrific physical exertion. 10 minutes is enough to drain Zhongzan's energy. The kind of clean work. After being exhausted, he must rest for a long time before he can recover. This is a bit of a waste. Therefore, he would rather choose the dragon form, which absorbs slower, than the green dragon form, which absorbs faster. But this time, it's different. If Zhongzan didn't enter the green dragon form, at least half of it would have been lost in vain. Flow with half. What is this concept? Thanks to Grandma's concept. To know, this elixir is worth 400 million points. Losing half of it means Zhongzan will lose a full 200 million. Under the tenfold blessing of the green dragon form, the medicinal effect that was rapidly flowing away from Zhongzan's body finally stopped. At least 3 million were lost. Zhongzan silently made a calculation in his mind, and his face turned green. Time slips away quietly. 7 or 8 minutes later. Seeing that his physical strength was about to bottom out, he had only absorbed about 10% of the medicinal effect of the 7th level spiritual grass. What the hell? After Zhongzan cursed secretly, he quickly took out a bottle of 5th level middle grade spiritual liquid worth 10 million from the space ring and drank it. Zhongzan, in the form of a green dragon, has a tenfold increase in absorption speed for all spiritual herbs and elixirs. So, this bottle of 5th level middle grade spiritual liquid has just been consumed. In less than 10 seconds, they were all absorbed by Zhongzan. Zhongzan's physical strength was fully restored. But soon, his physical strength began to decline rapidly again. 9 minutes later, Zhongzan had to take out another bottle of 5th level middle grade spiritual liquid. That's all. One bottle, another bottle, another bottle. An hour and a half later, the medicinal effect of that 7th level spiritual grass was completely absorbed by Zhongzan. Zhongzan immediately stepped out of the green dragon form without even thinking about it. Looking at the 9 empty bottles placed in front of him, his face suddenly darkened. Want to cry but no tears. FK, in order to absorb all the medicinal effects of this 7th level spiritual grass without any waste, I drank 9 bottles of 5th level middle grade spiritual liquid. 1 bottle cost 10 million, and 9 bottles of special meow, that's 90 million. No wonder only 6th level and above superpowers take high-level spiritual herbs and elixirs to assist their cultivation. The effects of these high-level spiritual herbs and elixirs are really too strong, compared to the mild ones. The middle and low-level spiritual herbs and elixirs are completely different. The moderate and low-level spiritual herbs and elixirs require me to absorb them actively, while the high-level spiritual herbs and elixirs with violent effects do not require me to absorb them at all. It will spontaneously radiate out and flow into every part of my body. On the verge of crying but without tears, Zhongzhan quickly felt his own energy fluctuations, and his face suddenly looked better. Although in order to fully absorb the medicinal effects of this 7th level spiritual grass, I drank 9 more bottles of 5th level middle grade spiritual liquid, but the benefits are also obvious. I completely absorbed it in less than 2 hours. Got it. In less than 2 hours, 400 million resources were absorbed. What does that mean? This means that if Zhongzhan is willing to spend an extra 90 million points to replenish his physical strength every time, he only needs 30 hours to digest all the 15 billion resources he got from the stupid and sweet beast princess and convert them into his own experience. What speed is this? Explosive speed. This speed, if spread, would definitely shock everyone. Although it is a bit wasteful, it is indeed a good way to quickly improve your strength. According to my previous cultivation method, it would take at least 2 or 3 months to digest these 15 billion points worth of cultivation resources. Thinking of this, Zhongzhan's eyes suddenly flashed. He quickly made a decision in his mind. Although doing this will waste about 3 billion points, it can save me 2 or 3 months. Time is money. After a brief hesitation, Zhongzhan made his final decision. Just waste it. With the 2 or 3 months saved, with my ability, I can earn far more than 3 billion points. With this thought in mind, Zhongzhan went out. What? Why go out? Didn't you agree to practice? What can Zhongzhan do? Zhongzhan is also desperate. This rapid cultivation method requires 5th level middle grade spiritual liquid to support it. The 9 bottles just now were all Zhongzhan's wealth. Come to the Resource Points Redemption Center. Zhongzhan sold 8 7th level spiritual grasses in one breath, and exchanged all the points gained from selling these 8 7th level spiritual grasses into the 1st level middle grade spiritual liquid. After returning home, he immediately took out a 7th level spiritual grass. Take a deep breath. After being mentally prepared, he fully promoted the Azure Dragon fruit ability in his body and entered the Azure Dragon form. Soon, he swallowed the 7th level spiritual grass in one gulp. A few seconds later, the huge and violent drug effect swept through Zhongzhan's body. Zhongzhan held his breath and concentrated, absorbing and practicing with all his heart. Same as before, every 9.5 minutes, Zhongzhan would drink a bottle of 5th level middle grade spiritual liquid to replenish his huge physical strength. That's all. Time passed quietly, sunrise and sunset. In the blink of an eye, a day passed by. The next day, in the evening, at sunset, Zhongzhan, who had been practicing continuously for more than 30 hours without sleep, suddenly opened his eyes and at the same time withdrew from the blue dragon form. Feeling the energy fluctuations emanating from his body, the corners of Zhongzhan's mouth suddenly raised. Leave your house. Zhongzhan hurried straight to the testing center in Garrison City No. 1. After renting a 5th-floor testing room, he couldn't wait to start testing. Because beep 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 beep, accompanied by the piercing alarm sound of the detection equipment, a series of large numbers suddenly appeared on the LCD screen of the testing instrument 148,786. 14W energy level. This is just the most basic energy level in Zhongzhan's human form. Compared to before, has the energy fluctuation increased by nearly 6W? Why has it increased so much? My previous 9 billion cultivation resources have increased my energy fluctuation by about 5W. Zhongzhan suddenly became confused. But he was not confused for long. Soon, he slapped his head and muttered belatedly, "Ah, yes, 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 I remembered it, I only had 3 devil fruit abilities to improve before, but now I have the abilities of the 4 devil fruits need to be improved, and the resources required to improve the same energy fluctuation will naturally be more than before." While muttering, Zhongzhan turned his attention to the big screen of the detector again. The corner of the mouth. Suddenly it rose. It's not easy. In my human form, I have reached the 3rd level high-level realm. It's not easy. Having said that, I don't know how much power I can unleash with my full blow. Feeling emotional, Zhongzhan quietly entered the green dragon form. Soon, all the abilities in the body suddenly exploded. Blue dragon form plus shock fruit plus thunder fruit plus armament hockey. Next moment, boom, the dragon's tail swept hard on the detector. Beep 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 beep. A line of huge numbers suddenly appeared on the screen of the detector, 4,612,366. 461W. Thank you to our silly, sweet and ferocious beast princess. Looking at the numbers on the screen, Zhongzhan suddenly put his hands together and said thank you with a smile. But then again, after deleting all the data from the testing instrument, Zhongzhan suddenly remembered the silly and sweet beast princess. It's been almost 2 days, why is there no movement at all? I don't know if teacher and the others will get rid of that silly, sweet, ferocious beast princess. With this thought in mind, Zhongzhan strode out of the testing center, all the way to Li Shu's office. After knocking on the door and entering, Li Shu's kind face greeted him. My dear disciple, why are you here? Li Shu asked. Teacher, how is that stupid white beast lurking in the underground research center, a 9th level beast now? Zhongzhan asked curiously. Her, Li Shu's smile suddenly brightened. She is still pretending to be imprisoned by us in the underground research center. We did not touch her rashly to avoid alerting the snake. Just follow the plan. Zhongzhan's eyes lit up. That's right, use the trick. Li Shu nodded with a smile, and immediately said, by the way, good disciple, because of the information you provided, our Guangming City military side successfully found and locked down 5 secret agents based on the 9th level Emperor Beast. The 7th level superpowers from the Emperor Beast cult who sneaked into our garrison number 1 even targeted an 8th level elder of their Emperor Beast cult. In addition, there are a large number of 4th level, 5th level, and 6th level emperors. There are a total of 63 members of the Beast cult. After our Guangming City military closes the net in 2 days, I will secretly report your contribution in this matter. The reward for helping to kill or capture an 8th level cultist or disciple will be about 500 million points. The 7th level is 200 million, if you add them all up, you will be able to get about 2 billion points in the end. Hear the words. Zhongzhan suddenly became happy. In the ecstasy, Li Shu's voice rang out again. Calm down, teacher, I haven't said the biggest reward yet. There are other rewards. Zhongzhan's eyes lit up. Discover and expose the plan of the 9th level Imperial Beast to save our garrison city number 1 from a disaster of destruction. How could the official treat you badly? After all, we Kyushu spent a lot of money to build 3 garrison cities. There are tens of billions of funds. However, you also know that the official finances are very tight, so I guess there is a high probability that the official will not directly reward you with funds and points. There is a high probability that they will reward you with some kind of rare spiritual fruit. The rarity here is for the entire officialdom, not for a single superpower. The value of a spiritual fruit that is rare for the entire Kyushu officialdom is worth at least tens of billions. After listening to Li Shu's words, Zhongzhan's face became even more joyful. Just as Li Shu said, Kyushu official is the largest force in the entire world. With his own strength, he resisted the forces of 3 cracked worlds. For a spiritual fruit that is rare among the people of Kyushu, will it be a common commodity? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Thank you for the gift from the silly beast princess. All of a sudden, Zhongzhan was so moved that he almost cried, and he was once again grateful to the beast kilometers who had given away tens of billions of points. There are indeed a lot of good people these days. Don't worry, silly beast princess, after the teacher and the others close the net and kill you in a few days, I will definitely give you this good person. Ah, no, it should be said that the good beast burns paper money. After being moved for a while, Zhongzhan gradually calmed down. Then, an extremely bold idea came to his mind. There are still 3 days until the White Moon Day. Since the teacher and the others have not planned to close the net during these 3 days, but plan to use their tricks, can I run again? Go interact with her, exchange feelings and so on, and then get some benefits from her. Thinking of this, Zhongzhan couldn't sit still. Zhongzhan didn't think that the silly, sweet, ferocious beast princess would have no spiritual grass or fruit on her body. After all, according to him, the space ring she gave to Zhongzhan 2 days ago was taken from an 8th level human being and was not her own. She is the daughter of an old-style Emperor Beast in the World of Rifts, and she is also a 9th level Emperor Beast herself. Just ask, how could she not have her own space ring? Teacher, if I go to find the Emperor Beast hidden in the underground research center again, will it have any impact on your plan to take advantage of the enemy? Zhang Zan asked. Hearing this, Li Shu was stunned for a moment, then shook his head with a smile and said, "No, after learning the information from you, although I secretly made a lot of plans, there are only a handful of people who know my plans, and those people are all 100% trustworthy." In the eyes of the Emperor Beast and the cult members of the Emperor Beast cult, the operation of the entire garrison city number 1 is currently developing in the direction they expected, so as long as you don't show your flaws, it won't have any impact on our plan. Li Shu said. After taking a deep look at Zhang Zan, he said, "Besides, judging from how you managed to stabilize yourself in such a sudden situation last time, you definitely won't come back with any tricks. You kid, not only is he extremely talented and perseverant, he is also extremely intelligent." Hey, Zhang Zan scratched his head and said with a naive smile, "Teacher, you said less. Speak less." Li Shu was confused. "Well, actually my appearance is also superb." Zhang Zan scratched his head and said with a smile. "Loquacious." Li Shu glared at Zhang Zan angrily, then waved his hands angrily. Go, if you want to see that Emperor Beast, go and see it, but this time, you don't have to do what you did last time. If you get nervous, I will watch you." "Yes." Zhang Zan nodded quickly. "Teacher, I'll leave first." "Go." Li Shu waved his hand again. "Turn around." Zhang Zan walked towards the outside of the house step by step. "Come to the door. Open the door." Zhang Zan suddenly stopped. "Turn around." His eyes turned towards Li Shu again. "Teacher, aren't you curious, what method did I use to win the trust of the 9th level Emperor Beast, so that she could trust me so much that she would even expose them? A plan that has been planned for a long time." When Li Shu heard this, a smile suddenly appeared on his face. He had a kind face, stared at Zhang Zan with sharp eyes, and said, "My good disciple, if your secret would harm Zhuzhou, your teacher, I would have asked you already, CDAE, but judging from the information you revealed to me, your secret is obviously beneficial to our Kyushu, so why do I ask so many questions? Everyone has a secret that only he or she knows, and I am no exception." "Teacher, I understand." From Li Shu's bright eyes and gentle words, Zhang Zan could feel a deep sense of trust. This made Zhang Zan feel an inexplicable warmth in his heart. After bidding farewell to Li Shu, Zhang Zan went straight to the underground research center. After learning the purpose of Zhang Zan's visit to the research center this time, Lu Wade took Zhang Zan to the cell where the 9th level Imperial Beast was incarcerated, without even thinking about it. "Little friend Zhang Zan, it's still the old rule, you must come out within 10 minutes. Lu Wade warned with a kind face. "Okay, I will." After Zhang Zan nodded, he opened the first cell door. One door, another door, and another door. At last, under the bright gaze of the 9th level silly, sweet and ferocious beast princess, Zhang Zan pushed open the last door and strode into the cell. The moment he entered the cell, Zhang Zan immediately let the power of clone fruit envelope his whole body in front of the silly and sweet beast princess. At the beginning, when she saw Zhang Zan coming again, the silly, sweet and ferocious beast princess had a look of displeasure on her face. After all, only 3 days left. 3 days later, it will be the day of the white moon, and the day of the sun and moon will be when they implement their plan. She really didn't want to be at this juncture, because the frequent visits of Zhang Zan, a guy from the soul-eating beast clan, made humans suspicious, which ultimately led to the failure of their plan. To this end, in the past 2 days, she had even refused all the visits from the cult members of the Emperor Beast cult who had sneaked into the research center. The purpose is to do everything possible to reduce the possibility of being noticed by humans. So, she was so unhappy when she saw Zhang Zan coming again. But, next second, after feeling that Zhang Zan's energy, which he used to restrain his ferocious beast's original aura, had grown several times compared to 2 days ago, the displeasure on her face was instantly replaced by a strong feeling of anticipation and excitement. Replaced. Brush. With a breeze blowing. The next moment, the silly beast princess, who originally seemed to be locked tightly in the center of the cage by 4 huge chains connected to the ground, appeared in front of Zhang Zan in an instant. She is now, face full of red light, face full of ecstasy. He looked Zhang Zan up and down with bright eyes. Then, she suddenly came up to Zhang Zan again and sniffed it carefully. Before Zhang Zan could react, she suddenly spoke. You. Shi Ba, could it be that you have successfully improved the secret technique that you created to restrain the original energy of vicious beasts? Success. Yes, it is. Zhang Zan transmitted the message intermittently again. Seriously? The silly beast princess asked with ecstasy on her face. Absolutely true. Zhang Zan transmitted the message intermittently. Although it has not reached the level that Her Royal Highness wants to see, this secret skill can still only be practiced by us soul-eating beast tribe people, but with the improvement, after we, the soul-eating beast clan, master it, we can help other compatriots from the ferocious beast clan to control their original auras of the ferocious beasts. Real, the silly beast princess said quickly. Quick, try it on me. Okay, Zhang Zan said intermittently. No, not enough, Your Highness Princess, I have not perfected this secret skill. I have only tested it on my fellow middle and low-level ferocious beasts. I have not tested it on anyone else except me. I have tried it on high-level ferocious beasts, but it may not work. It doesn't matter, let's give it a try first. The silly beast princess urged urgently. Yes, Your Highness, Princess, please forgive me for being presumptuous. After saying that, Zhang Zan stretched out his hand and pressed it on the head of the silly, sweet and ferocious beast princess in front of him. Soon, Clone Fruit's ability activates. The energy of Clone Fruit immediately poured into her body. Next breath, this energy returned again. It can be regarded as the original aura of a vicious beast at the level of a 9th order emperor beast. Zhang Zan suddenly felt happy. The original aura of the vicious beast of the 9th level emperor beast. What does that mean? This means that when Zhang Zan uses the simulation fruit in the future, he can directly simulate the breath of the 9th level emperor beast. The 9th level imperial beast is the one that stands at the top of the pyramid of billions of ferocious beasts. Among the ferocious beasts, the classes are clearly defined. And, in a society of ferocious beasts, there is no such thing as law to maintain public order and stability. In the society of ferocious beasts, strength is completely respected. You can say that, as long as Zhang Zan bears the aura of the 9th level imperial beast, no ferocious beast will dare to offend him. What does that mean? This means that Zhang Zan can move around the vast red danger zone with confidence and boldness in the future. In the red danger zone, the other ferocious beasts must obediently hand over the magical herbs and elixirs he likes. At this moment, Zhang Zan had even begun to dream about his future in a red dangerous area full of ferocious beasts, collecting various mid to high-level spiritual grasses and fruits. Just when Zhang Zan was excited, our silly Badian beast princess was also full of excitement. She was not disappointed because Zhang Zan failed to contain the original aura of the ferocious beast in her body. On the contrary, at this moment, there was excitement in her mind. Ba, this princess feels the energy of the secret breath condensing technique you created. It is really an amazing power. The stupid beast princess suddenly murmured with her face flushed. Thank you, Your Highness Princess, for the compliment. Hearing this, Zhang Zan quickly came to his senses and transmitted the message intermittently. Xie Ba, you must not be arrogant because of this. Try to improve the breath-condensing secret method you created as soon as possible so that all our ferocious beasts can practice it. Silly beast princess suddenly restrained herself. He noticed the excitement on his face and taught with a serious look. Yes, please rest assured, Your Highness, I will definitely keep up my efforts. Zhang Zan said intermittently. Xie Ba, you are very good. This princess is very optimistic about you. The silly beast princess suddenly stretched out her hand, gently touched Zhang Zan's face, and then said with a meaningful expression, if you can successfully improve the secret method of breath concentration, I, the princess, can ask my father to let your father propose to the beast emperor of your soul-eating beast clan so that you can marry this princess. When Zhang Zan heard this, he was suddenly stunned, and his heart felt like, I'm lying. Why, you don't want to? The stupid beast princess who didn't hear Zhang Zan's response immediately frowned in displeasure. No. When Zhang Zan heard this, he was agitated and quickly came to his senses. Then he transmitted the message intermittently. How could it be possible? I can be valued by Her Royal Highness by eating Ba. How could I not be willing to do so? I was so happy and excited just now. Thank you, Your Highness the Princess, for your appreciation. Thank you, Your Highness the Princess, for your appreciation. Ait ni ba, here I swear, I will never let down the expectations of Her Royal Highness the Princess. That's pretty much it. A look of satisfaction suddenly appeared on the face of the stupid beast princess. Okay, it's been almost 10 minutes since you came in. It's time to go out, otherwise it will easily arouse the vigilance of humans. After the silly beast princess issued the order to expel the guests, she seemed to have remembered something and said again, by the way, have you finished eating those spiritual grasses and fruits that this princess gave you last time? Chi, Your Highness, Princess Chi, has already eaten everything. Speaking of which, the reason why I was able to successfully perform the secret breath condensing technique in just 2 days is an improvement is entirely due to Her Royal Highness the Princess. Zhongzhan quickly flattered him. My credit, where do you start talking about this? Silly beast princess was confused. Your Highness, I have just broken through to the 7th level. My level is not very stable. Moreover, because I have been studying the secret technique of gathering breath for many years, my actual combat ability is very weak. I cannot defeat other 7th level ferocious beasts. I grabbed high-level spiritual grass and fruit in my hand, so except for some low and mid-level spiritual grass and fruit, I don't have high-level spiritual grass and fruit at all. When I improve the secret breath gathering technique, it will consume a lot of my body. With my spiritual power, those middle and low-level spiritual grasses and fruits cannot help me recover quickly. There have been several times before when I was studying the secret skills of breath gathering, and I finally had inspirations in my mind. However, because the middle and low-level spiritual grasses and spiritual fruits could not restore me to my best condition immediately, those inspirations failed. It slipped away from my hands again and again. As he said that, Zhongzhan suddenly raised his head, stared at the beast princess Silly Badian, and said with a trembling voice, but this time, it's different. The high-level spiritual herbs and elixirs that were given to me by Her Royal Highness the Princess. With the help of, I finally caught the inspiration that slipped away from me time and time again, and I successfully improved the 2.0 version of the breath-containing secret method in less than 2 days. That's why I will then say it. That's it, that's it. When the silly beast princess heard this, a look of realization suddenly appeared on her face. Next, she suddenly dug around herself. At last, he took out an ancient ring. After staring at the ring reluctantly for a while, she handed it to Zhongzhan and said at the same time, Kini Ba, this space ring was given to me by my father. It is about the same size. There are about 1,000 cubic meters, and what is treasured inside is the 9th level breakthrough gift given to me by my father and the Emperor Beast uncles after I broke through the 9th level a few days ago. They are all 8th level spiritual grass and spiritual fruits, and they are all very rare spiritual grasses and spiritual fruits. I am not willing to eat them myself, so I will give them all to you today. I hope you will not disappoint me. Damn, I am Sao. Hold the grass. Get rich, get rich, get rich, get rich, get rich. This wave is going to make you totally rich. A group of 9th level Emperor Beasts gave a 9th level breakthrough gift to a young Emperor Beast that had just broken through the 9th level. Can this gift be bad? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. From this analysis alone, Zhongzhan can conclude that the 8th level spiritual grass and fruit in this space ring are definitely very, very rare types. And from the words of this silly, sweet and ferocious beast princess, we can easily infer that the 8th level spiritual grass and spiritual fruits in this space ring are good things. After all, these 8th level spiritual grass and spiritual fruits are something that even the 9th level princess like her is reluctant to eat. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Her Royal Highness, for the reward. Thank you, Her Royal Highness, for the reward. Zhongzhan tremblingly took the simple space ring from the hands of the silly beast princess, and swore with great excitement, Your Highness Princess, I will never betray your trust in me. Absolutely not. Well, I believe you. Silly Badian, the ferocious beast princess nodded without any doubt, and said, okay, it's time for you to go out, it's almost time. Quote exclamation mark quote. Zhongzhan nodded, and immediately removed the clone fruit ability that enveloped himself. Suddenly, the 7th level ferocious beast's original aura that kept emanating from his body dissipated and was replaced by Zhongzhan's own human original aura. It's amazing, it's really amazing. Ni ba, your secret breath condensing skill is really amazing. The silly, sweet, ferocious beast princess couldn't help but sigh. Princess, your highness, it's time for me to go out. It's been almost 9.5 minutes. The old human man outside only gave me 10 minutes. If I don't go out in 10 minutes, it will definitely cause trouble. His vigilance. Zhongzhan can't wait to leave here now. He can't wait to go out and count the spiritual grass and spiritual fruits in this space ring. Go go. As the silly beast princess said, she quickly returned to the chair in the center of the cell. After sitting down, she put the shackles on herself again with great skill. Just as Zhongzhan turned around to leave, suddenly, the voice of the silly and sweet ferocious beast princess rang out again. By the way, Ni ba, remember to keep this space ring for me. I will take it back to you after I get out of here, As you command, my princess. After saying that, Zhongzhan reached out and pushed open the special door of the cell and walked out. Leave the underground research center. Zhongzhan then left the military camp without changing his expression. It wasn't until he returned to his house in Garrison Number 1 and entered the retreat room that Zhongzhan suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. Soon, in the retreat room, it suddenly became quiet. There was silence. Gradually, the sound of clothes rubbing against each other started to sound. Zhongzhan's shoulders were suddenly shaking up and down. Next, PFF'd ha 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 ha. His extremely wanton and proud laughter suddenly sounded. Get rich, get rich, get rich. This time, I really got rich. There is a space ring with a size of 1,000 cubic meters. This space ring alone is worth tens of billions, right? Ha 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 ha. As expected of the silly, sweet and ferocious beast princess, she is so easy to deceive. Ha 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 ha. All of a sudden, Zhongzhan's wild and wanton laughter echoed in the training room over and over again. He laughed for a long time, for about 7 or 8 minutes. His cheeks were stiff from laughter, and then he gradually came back to his senses. Then, Zhongzhan hurriedly took out the spiritual grass and spiritual fruit from the space ring that the silly, sweet, ferocious beast princess had, willingly, given to him. That moment, the moment those spiritual grasses and fruits were taken out, the concentration of spiritual energy in the entire training room suddenly skyrocketed. In an instant, it skyrocketed to dozens of times as much as before, and the concentration of spiritual energy continued to skyrocket crazily. As for the reason, willing is simple, because the spiritual energy contained in these spiritual grass and spiritual fruits is really too rich. They exude spiritual energy all the time. There are 7 kinds of spiritual grass and spiritual fruits taken out from the ring. There are 3 spiritual grasses and 4 spiritual fruits. Zhongzhan's eyes passed over these spiritual grasses and fruits one by one. When he crossed the 3 spiritual grasses and 2 spiritual fruits in front of him, his expression was calm. It wasn't that Zhongzhan wasn't excited, but the fact was that he didn't recognize these 3 spiritual grasses and 2 spiritual fruits at all. Although he has completely read through the illustrated guide of spiritual grasses and fruits in the Resource Points Exchange Center of Garrison City Number 1, he has also memorized the appearance of all the valuable grasses and fruits in the illustrated book. What? Why should we keep it in mind? This is not nonsense. If you don't remember, what if you mistake them for immature weeds and fruits when wandering in the wild? After all, many spiritual grass and spiritual fruits look very ordinary before they are fully mature. But, the 3 spiritual grasses and 2 spiritual fruits in front of him were not among the hundreds of different types of spiritual grasses and spiritual fruits that Zhongzhan deeply remembered in his heart. That's why his expression was so calm. Although he clearly knew that these 3 spiritual grasses and 2 spiritual fruits were worth a lot of money. But he didn't know exactly how expensive it was. But, when his eyes turned to the last 2 fruits that exuded a strange fragrance, Zhongzhan suddenly changed color on the spot. Lai Sao, I am Sao, hold the grass. These 2, are they super hearts? Zhongzhan's eyes widened, staring at the 2 fruits and observing them carefully. The practice room suddenly became quiet. Tick-tock, tick-tock. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Time passes slowly. After almost half a minute, Zhongzhan finally made a conclusion with a face full of ecstasy. It's definitely a super heart. These two are definitely super hearts. I'm Sao, I'm Sao, I'm Sao, I'm Sao, I'm Sao. That stupid white sweet ferocious beast princess actually has this kind of thing on her body, what a baby. Looking at the two spiritual fruits called super hearts, Zhongzhan's mind couldn't help but think of what the book spirit little Loli had described to him in the Demon Treasure Pavilion. The original words of the little Lolita Schuling are, "A super heart is very rare, extremely rare." I remember that a super heart appeared 20 years ago, and it seemed to be taken by someone in the end. The Hidden World family bought it, and that Hidden World family seemed to have spent tens of billions of funds to obtain this super heart, and also owed favors to many powerful families. A hidden family, in order to obtain a super heart, spent tens of billions of funds and owed favors to many powerful families, and finally obtained one. And now, Zhongzhan just talked, and after 10 minutes of talking, he easily got two. Thank you for the gift from the silly beast princess. Ha 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 ha. Zhongzhan thanked him silently in his heart, then raised his head and laughed wildly. He laughed wildly for a long time, and then gradually calmed down. Ha. 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 After taking several deep breaths, he conveniently put it back into the space ring. Soon, he hurried out. Go straight to the military camp. After a while, Zhongzhan came to Li Shu's office. Dong dong dong. Come in, my good disciple, it looks like something good has happened to you. Did you get some benefit from that Ninth Order Emperor beast? Li Shu looked up and said. Sure enough, I still can't hide it from the teacher. Zhongzhan scratched his head and said with a smile. Your expression gives you away. Li Shu's face suddenly became serious. Disciple, if possible, you'd better change your joyful expression. It's too easy for others to take advantage of you based on your mood and emotions. You must not forget that there are still cultists from the Great Emperor Beast cult lurking in garrison number 1. If your face just now was seen by the cultists from the Emperor Beast cult, they would then appear underground again. When I informed her about the group of 9th level Emperor Beasts in the research center, do you think she would become suspicious? Hear the words. Zhongzhan's originally extremely excited heart suddenly cooled down. Teacher, I know I was wrong. Facing Li Shu's serious face, Zhongzhan quickly calmed down the excitement on his face and nodded quickly. Said. Then a look of worry appeared on his face, and he said, Teacher, if I came all the way just now, wouldn't I have aroused the suspicion of the members of the Emperor Beast cult? Do not worry. Li Shu retracted the seriousness on his face and said with a smile, most of the guys from the Emperor Beast cult are in the underground research center. They all entered the White Moon crack world through the cracks in time and space as researchers. There are still a dozen or so left, but I used some legitimate excuses to transfer them out of the military camp and go to, on duty, on the city wall to paralyze them, so don't worry. OF. Hearing this, Zhongzhan breathed a sigh of relief. Okay, let's talk. You are so happy to come to me all of a sudden. Do you have a favor for me? After Li Shu finished speaking, he stared at Zhongzhan with curiosity on his face. After all, Zhongzhan's expression just now was a bit too exaggerated, a bit too excited. It has been more than 3 months since Li Shu became Zhongzhan's master. In the past 3 months, Zhongzhan has been living in garrison number 1. And he, Li Shu, is the number 1 garrison town guard and has been staying in the city for 3 months. So, he knew Zhongzhan's character quite well. Before this, Emoto had pretty good control over things like being overjoyed. But today, something was very wrong with him. This made Li Shu very curious. Teacher, it's like this. Didn't I just go to see that stupid white, go see the 9th level Emperor Beast? Then what? Then. And after we had a conversation, she gave me some spiritual grass and spiritual fruits. I gave you some spiritual grass and spiritual fruits. What you gave her were some very rare and valuable spiritual grass and spiritual fruits. When Li Shu heard this, his eyes suddenly flashed and he guessed. Teacher, how do you know? Zhongzhan was stunned for a moment. After all, you are a man who has seen the world. When you apprenticed as a master that day, your second master and third master gave you training resources worth about 8 billion points in one go. What if the 9th level Emperor Beast gave you with some ordinary spiritual grass and spiritual fruit? How could you show that expression just now? Li Shu said of course, suddenly shook his head, and said with emotion, Come on, you are still too young, you are still too young, it is obvious that you are not deeply involved in the world, just some rare spiritual grass and spiritual fruit, are they worth it? How much money? 1 to 2 billion or 2 to 3 tens of billions at most. Is it necessary to be so excited? After all, your talent is here. When you grow up, you will find that points and money are actually just one thing. It's just a bunch of useless numbers. After you break through the 7th level, especially after you break through the 8th level, basically the spiritual grasses and fruits you really need cannot be purchased directly with points. The spiritual grasses and fruits that can be purchased with points and money, it can only play a very minimal role in the progress and growth of your strength. Li Shu shook his head seriously and said, look, even now, you still haven't completely calmed down. Okay, let's talk about it. What good thing did your kid get from that 9th level emperor beast that made you so excited that you almost lost your mind with your excitement? Hey, teacher, actually I didn't get many spiritual grasses and fruits from that 9th level emperor beast, but I have almost never seen the spiritual grasses and fruits I got from her, such as this. Zhang Zan said with a smile, and his mental energy moved. Immediately, a rare spiritual grass that Zhang Zan had never seen before appeared in the palm of his hand. Suddenly, the moment this spiritual grass appeared, a huge amount of spiritual energy immediately emanated from it and directly hit Zhang Zan in the face. Before Zhang Zan spoke, Li Shu's unbelievable exclaiming had already sounded. This is this. Grass. His voice was sharp, full of disbelief and shock. Shenhe grass. Zhang Zan was confused. The divine fire grass is an 8th level top grade spiritual grass. It is the spiritual grass that all high-level fire superpowers dream of. After taking it, it can greatly increase the intensity and energy purity of fire superpowers. For an 8th level for a person with fire superpowers, the effect of taking one divine fire grass is equivalent to 10 years of training. Li Shu explained, staring at Zhang Zan with wide eyes and a face full of disbelief, and said, what did you do to make that 9th level emperor beast trust you so much that she actually sent her to you? I got you a top level 8th grade divine fire grass. No, teacher, she didn't just give me a divine fire grass. Zhang Zan smiled and shook his head, then took out a spiritual grass. Immediately afterwards, next moment, Li Shu's unbelievable exclamation suddenly rang out, God-forging grass. Another 8th level spiritual grass. Teacher, this divine forging grass is? Zhang Zan asked with a red face. Forging God grass is used to temper mental power. Its effect is similar to that of Shenyang fruit and Spirit Heart 2.8, but it is dozens or hundreds of times stronger than them. It is the spiritual spirit that all high-level spiritual superpowers dream of. Grass, no, it should be said to be the morning hall that all high-level superpowers dream of. Li Shu's eyes widened even more. On the face, in the eyes. Apart from being shocked, it is unbelievable. Shock. Could he not be shocked? Although he already knew that his disciple was very trusted by the 9th level Emperor Beast. But, he had no idea that the 9th level Imperial Beast would trust and value Zhang Zan so much so that he even gave Zhang Zan 2 spirits that were very rare for their ferocious beasts and for the entire Kyushu officialdom. Grass. Suddenly, Li Shu's eyes suddenly changed when he looked at Zhang Zan. You kid, what on earth did you do? If I weren't so sure that you were a human, I would have doubted whether you were the child of that 9th level Emperor Beast. While he was mumbling in disbelief, he saw Zhang Zan take out the remaining 5 spiritual grass and spiritual fruits from the space ring one after another. $18. At the beginning, he could barely stabilize his mentality. But, when Zhang Zan took out 7 8th grade spiritual grass and spiritual fruits one after another, he couldn't hold back at all. Li Shu, FK, the quintessence of the country, comes as soon as you open your mouth. Numb. This time, Li Shu was completely numb. His eyes widened. His face was full of shock, disbelief. He, who just now was teaching Zhang Zan not to be overjoyed, had completely forgotten how he had taught Zhang Zan so earnestly and sincerely. Looking at the 7 8th level spiritual treasures neatly placed on the table in front of him, his mouth opened wide. It's a little exaggerated to describe it. His jaw almost dropped to the ground. There is a blank in my mind. Lie. Low down, low down, low down. In his mouth, he kept murmuring in shock to the ultimate. After Zhang Zan waited for a while, Li Shu gradually came back to his senses. Call, call. He took several deep breaths and finally calmed down completely. Then, Li Shu then saw Zhang Zan, who was secretly laughing. Thinking of his gaffe just now, Li Shu suddenly became angry. Angrily, he gave Zhang Zan a dunk and said, "You kid, did you do it on purpose? You want to see my teacher's joke on purpose? Teacher, how could I do this? How dare I? Do you think I am that cunning?" Zhang Zan scratched his head and smiled naively. Similar, very similar, Li Shu said without hesitation. If you weren't cunning, how could you have obtained this batch of rare spiritual objects from the hands of that 9th-level Emperor Beast? My dear disciple, do you know that you this time, I got rich 23, made a fortune. Li Shu glanced at the 7 8th-level spiritual objects and said, these 7 kinds of spiritual objects are all 8th-level spiritual objects. They belong to the best of the best. In theory, every spiritual object, they can be sold for about 50 billion, but no one in this world is stupid enough to sell them. Do you know why? Please ask the teacher for advice. Zhang Zan said quickly. These 8th-level top-quality spiritual objects are of great benefit to all high-level superpower users. For example, if the divine fire grass is taken by an 8th-level fire superpower user, the benefits obtained can even be worth the results of his 5 years of cultivation. 5 years, this is not 5 months, this is 5 years. 5 years can save 5 years of practice. This is a temptation that no 8th-level superpower can resist. Not to mention 8th-level superpowers, even 9th-level fire superpowers will want to get this divine fire grass. Teacher also said before that for high-level ability users, especially for 8th-level and 9th-level superpower users, points and money are meaningless at all. To them, they are just a bunch of useless numbers. They can easily get a bunch of them, and they can easily take out hundreds of billions. If they find out that you have a top-quality spiritual item that you want to sell for money, they will definitely swarm over and compete to bid first. After all, spiritual objects of this level are generally traded on a barter for object basis, which means that you can use the highest quality spiritual objects that you don't need in exchange for the highest quality spiritual objects that are useful to you in the hands of others. Hearing this, Zhang Zan nodded thoughtfully and said, I understand, Master too. Master, let me show you your 3 abilities. One is the upgraded superpower, one is the superpower vibration superpower, and the other is the elemental thunder superpower, so you must be the divine fire grass. What you don't need is this piece of yuan shui leaf, which is needed by water superpowers, and you can't use it either. The remaining forging god grass, super heart, flesh fruit, and 10,000 refinement fruits. All suitable for you to use. As Li Shu spoke, he obviously noticed Zhang Zan's confused gaze, and immediately pointed to the 2 fruits that Zhang Zan had never seen before and said, the flesh fruit and the 10,000 refining fruit are both 8th-level top-grade body forging fruits. As a result, after taking it, the physical fitness can be greatly improved. The latter improves the amount more than the former, but the effect of the latter takes time to take effect slowly, while the former takes effect instantly after taking it. After Li Shu looked Zhang Zan up and down, he continued, Disciple, if you take these 2 fruits, your physical strength should be able to increase to the level of 5th-level perfection or even 6th-level low-level ferocity in a short period of time. The physical strength of a beast is comparable to that of a beast. Once the effects of the 10,000 refining fruit are fully effective, your physical strength should be able to be increased to a realm comparable to that of a perfect 6th-level ferocious beast. Hiss. Zhang Zan couldn't help but take a breath of air. However, I suggest that you can eat the 10,000 refining fruit now. After all, its effect takes effect slowly over time. However, you should keep the flesh and blood fruit for later consumption. With your current cultivation level, there is no way to fully absorb all its medicinal effects. No, 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 no. As Li Shu spoke, he suddenly shook his head and said, Don't say it's completely absorbed. You might only be able to absorb 1/10 or even less. That's really a waste. As for the flesh and blood fruit, you'd better wait until taking it after the 6th level. I understand, teacher. Zhang Zan nodded quickly. As for this god-forging grass, it depends on you. With your current mental strength, taking this god-forging grass will definitely waste a lot of medicinal effect, but it can make your next meditation more smooth. Let your mental power increase even more after meditation. After Li Shu finished speaking, he added, however, I suggest you take it now. Although it will waste most of the medicinal effect, it will be done once and for all. I will think it over carefully, teacher. Zhongzhan nodded seriously. If you have those 2 super hearts left, you can just take them. Although your 3 superpowers are all S level, there is still room for improvement even with S level superpowers. Li Shu said, looking at the divine fire grass and yuanshui leaves that Zhongzhan did not use, and said, as for these 2 spiritual objects, disciple, if you can trust me, I can help you go to the other 9. Trade with superpowers and see if you can get back 2 spiritual items you can use. Then I'll trouble you, teacher. Zhongzhan said quickly. After leaving Li Shu's office, Zhongzhan hurried back to his cabin. All the way to the retreat room inside the house. Zhongzhan quickly took out the forging god grass and 10,000 refining fruits again. After staring at them with fascination for a while, Zhongzhan suddenly took a deep breath. Next, roar. Within the body, the Azure Dragon fruit ability was activated instantly, and Zhongzhan directly entered the Azure Dragon form. Soon, open your mouth, and swallowed the divine forging grass and 10,000 refinement fruits in succession. That moment, there were 2 completely different feelings in his mind and body. In my mind, the sun felt cold. Under the influence of this coldness, his mental power began to grow rapidly. No. This is not pure growth. Zhongzhan's mental power is growing and being refined. It is also a ray of mental power. The intensity of his current ray of mental power is comparable to the intensity of the previous ray and a half of mental power. And this gap in proportion is quickly widened with the medicinal effect of the forging god grass. 1, 1.5, 1, 1.6, 1, 1.7. Although his mental power is being continuously compressed and refined, but his total amount of mental power did not decrease because of this, but instead increased rapidly. 1700%, 1750%, 1800 wisps, 1850 wisps, 1900%. The above are just changes in Zhongzhan's mental power. His body is also undergoing huge changes. The moment the 10,000 refining fruits' medicinal effects took effect, Zhongzhan felt a fire igniting in his stomach. A raging fire. Immediately afterwards, except for the coldness in his mind, all the rest of his body seemed to be roasted by a raging fire, extremely hot. Zhongzhan's flesh and blood and even his bones were frantically absorbing this hot energy. The whole process lasted for nearly an hour before it stopped. In this hour, in order to remain in the green dragon form, Zhongzhan drank 5 bottles of 5th level middle grade spiritual liquid in one breath, spending an additional 50 million points. An hour later, the burning heat, like a fire, gradually dissipated. But it didn't completely disperse. It was still filling Zhongzhan's body, 067, but its temperature had dropped. If the temperature before could be hundreds or even thousands of degrees, then now it is only 100 degrees. What does that mean? This means that the medicinal effect of the 10,000 refining fruit is still taking effect automatically. It's just that compared to the violent properties of the medicine when it was just taken, the effect of the medicine at this moment has become extremely mild. Of course, the gentleness here refers to the gentleness towards Zhongzhan in the form of Qinglong. When Zhongzhan exited the green dragon form and returned to the human form, he found that his body seemed to be roasted by fire again. But it's not as exaggerated as before, and it's still within Zhongzhan's acceptable range. Nonsense. He must be able to accept it. After all, he could clearly feel it. Under this fire-like heat, his physique was increasing almost every second. Then, Zhongzhan quickly took out a special dagger. After holding the dagger tightly, Zhongzhan controlled his power to about 15W, and then stabbed his other arm suddenly. The dagger bounced away as if it had been stabbed on a hard stone. Come again, come again. Looking at the unscathed arm, Zhongzhan increased his strength and stabbed again. A few minutes later, ha 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 ha. His excited laughter suddenly rang throughout the entire training room. Awesome, 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 awesome. Zhongzhan looked at the wound on his arm and laughed with a red face. Energy level 54W. In human form, I can withstand attacks of energy level 54W using only the iron body ability. It's too strong, too strong, too strong. It's worthy of being the 8th level best. Aren't the spiritual objects of the 8th level the best spiritual objects? In the excitement, Zhongzhan suddenly put his hands together skillfully and said thanks with a glowing face. Thank you for the gift from the silly beast princess. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.